Hello everybody and welcome to this video where I'm going to discuss what that mode was that Sakurai showed at the August 8th Direct that happened recently. We have no idea what it is. He blurted out. Some people have looked at the blurred image and saw spirits, which is very possible. But let's get into what I think that mode could be. It could be a port of Smash Run or Smash Tour, but that is highly unlikely because they made a big deal of it being there. If it was Smash Run or Smash Tour, they probably would have just announced it immediately, which they didn't do. I don't think it will be as big as Subspace Emissary though. That was a serious undertaking for Sakurai and his crew, and I just don't think that's going to be possible again. Considering the amount of content that's in this game already, I don't think it will be on the level of having the epic cutscenes between every single fight. It won't be like that. I do, however, think it'll be more significant and bigger than the adventure mode in Melee. Now that mode was cool, but I feel like they're going to do something a little bit more ambitious than that this time around. Sakurai at E3 was saying how there's going to be a new way to unlock all the fighters, and I definitely believe this is the mode for that. So with all that being said, I have an idea as to what this mode could possibly be. I think this mode will be similar to another game that Nintendo has made. That game being Splatoon. If you'll play the Splatoon story mode, you'll know how it works. There are 5 different worlds, and you have to go beat every level, collect all the zap fishes in order to go to the next world. And once you get all the zap fishes in one world, go to the next one, and then you fight a boss, and then you go to the next one, fight a boss. It's like that. So you get to the big final boss. I think this will be very similar to what Super Smash Bros. Ultimate would be like. Yeah, I made a little piece of art. I'm no digital designer, I'm no artist, I'm no 2D rendering man, but I took a screenshot from Super Mario Odyssey and added some things on top of that and made it look like what I believe this Smash mode could very well be. So, what this means is that it will be very similar to Splatoon. You will go to different levels and take on different smaller adventure mode style levels. So if you look at my art here, I have number 25. Once you beat that, then you obtain the little smash piece. There will be 5 worlds representing each game. So say in the first world, actually you know what, maybe I should explain the potential story first. So this is how I picture the story going. If the first cutscene is when you've got characters like, let's say the Mario gang is playing tennis, let's say Village is going fishing, let's say Sonic's eating a chili dog, and then some sort of force, similar to kind of in the opening scene in Subspace Emissary, comes down and attacks these worlds, all these different worlds, attacks all these characters, and the majority of the characters shown get kind of possessed. Maybe that's how spirits comes into play. So they get possessed and they now become fighters for this new army. However, there's only 8 characters that manage to escape, those being the original 8 from the Nintendo 64 game. Those characters then somehow end up in one, this demonic world where they have to go and save every single fighter. And once they save all the fighters, then they go on to different worlds until they fight the final boss at the end. That's basically how I picture this game going. And every time you save a fighter, you unlock them. So like I said, I think there'll be 5 worlds representing each game. So the very first world will be the Smash 64 stage. And how that will work is that all you have to do is you have to fight Luigi, Captain Falcon, Ness, and Jigglypuff in their own adventure mode style levels. And once you beat all 4 of them, then you go on to the melee world. At the end of each level, you find an evil version of them, yes. You must beat all the characters to unlock the next world. However, for the Echo Fighters, I see it kind of differently. For Echo Fighters, I see it being like almost bonus levels. So say you're in the melee world and you have to fight Roy, like this picture is showing. You go and fight Roy. Once you beat Roy's level, then it says a new bonus level has appeared. You don't have to beat that level, and it will be a much smaller version of the original levels. But you go in there and then you fight Chrom, and then you can get Chrom once you beat that. But it's not compulsory in order to moving on. Like Splatoon, you can beat the levels in any order you want, despite the fact that there is an order to them. Now here's something I came up with. The bosses at the end of each world will represent the games they originate from. So for example, once you beat the 4 Nintendo 64 characters, you fight Master Hand at the end of that. Then once you do the melee levels, you fight Crazy Hand, maybe Crazy Hand and Master Hand at the same time. Once you beat all the Brawl levels, then you fight Taboo. Once you beat the Smash Wii U 3DS levels, then you fight Master Core, which happens at the end of the classic mode. And then once you beat the Ultimate levels, then you go on to fight the final boss of the game, which I have no idea who the final boss could be, but it could be a completely new character. Okay, a completely new design. I don't know, if you have any better thoughts for a final boss, then tell me in the comments below. Maybe bosses like Dracula and Rathalos that we saw in the Direct could appear in this mode, because I don't think that Monster Hunter stage was an actual stage. It's probably just a boss level of some kind, and unless there's a boss rush mode, then I think they will take part in here, but I don't know quite where to fit them in to this prediction theory, this concept. Now, for cutscenes, it will be nowhere near as ambitious as Brawls. It will just have the opening cutscene, the cutscenes after every, the cutscenes that happen after every world. After you beat the bosses of each world, there'll be a small cutscene, and there'll be a big closing cutscene. Not much outside of that. The only other cutscenes I see are cutscenes like 10-second cutscenes when you encounter a new character maybe. And that's like at best. I think this is capable enough for Sakurai to do. Sakurai, it's not too difficult. You're going to have to create new adventure mode levels, yes, but I think it's possible, and it's something that we might be able to expect. The only issue I see with this is I don't know how villains are going to play into this. Like, they made a big deal of villains in the King K. Rool trailer, but I don't know. It could just be at the end of Subspace, where characters like Link and Zelda managed to convince Ganon to team up with him at the end of Subspace. So I think it would just be like that, kind of, just to make the villains work and kind of act as heroes. So what do you think of that? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I know this is kind of a not really well structured video, but this is what I did. And I'll see you all later.